Hi, my name's John and this is going to be the quickest and easiest guide for you to complete the Reckoning main quest in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Before you start, I suggest bringing in an AR like the XM4 or the Krig with a large magazine, since those have got me through this boss fight fairly easily on multiple attempts. I also saw that the DM10 marksman rifle does a lot of damage since it becomes full auto when packed, so that's also a good choice to bring in. I'd also suggest using Ether Shroud with the multiple charge augment since that helps a lot with the boss. In this guide we'll be going for the sand boss fight through the egg instead of the Rigtoffen one, since it is a much easier boss fight in the end. After this, you're free to start the game and go through some rounds. Once you have enough points, I would suggest going through the mutant research direction to where you can find your first part next to this mangler inside this centrifuge being a syringe. After that, you can make your way to Pack-a-Punch as the game directs you, shoot these 4 batches of crystals and start on the next step. You need to jump into the particle accelerator and move to the side of the floating corpse. Once you've hit that and now it's on the ground, you can interact with it and collect your blood sample. The next step involves killing an HVT, so I'd suggest upgrading your gun to at least tier 1 PAP and maybe blue rarity. Place your blood sample back in the centrifuge and get ready to kill him. Be careful since some toxic zombies and an elder disciple will also spawn during this, so make sure to kill him quick and pick up his dropped special mutant injection. Once you've collected that, you can make your way up to Dark Entity Containment, interact with this panel and use your injection while standing in front of it. This will open the teleporter to the Teleportation Lab. Now that's out of the way, we can go ahead and start building Klaus in the android assembly area. For this, you'll need to find leg parts around the place, locations being here in this pile, in front of these shelves in the assembly line area, to the left of those shelves on top of these ones, in front of this cabinet, and in this door by the jump pad to quantum computing. Once you have these, you'll need to collect Klaus arm parts from special zombie rounds. As far as I know, you can only get 1 arm per round, so you'll need to play until your second max ammo round at least to have all his parts. You can then interact with this chained up Klaus and put the limbs on him. Then you'll need to get to at least round 16 to get an Uber Klaus to spawn and shoot one of his orbs next to him, activating the chain Klaus and let him type away. After a round has passed, you could stand next to him and you'll need to escort him up to Dark Entity Containment, where he'll then start next to a SAM trial. You'll need to complete this and he'll head up through the teleporter you opened earlier and you can leave him there. Next, you'll need to head to quantum computing, buy a melee macchiato, and punch this machine. You can then pick up this brain, and you'll need to bring this to Klaus. Run in the direction I am here, and you'll make it in no time. Interact with the machine next to him, and that step is done. Next, we'll be crafting this map's wonder weapon, the Gorgofex. First, you need to come to Mutant Research and look at 2 computer screens. They'll flash a word, but you only need to remember the first letter of each of them. My 2 being Yobbish, so Y, and Bellicose, so B. Then after this, you'll need to head to the periodic table and find the element with those 2 letters combined. They could be in different orders, so since there's no element with BY, it was YB, giving me the number 70. You can now come up to this door and type in your code. If it's a 2-digit number, just put a 0 in front, and if it's a 3-digit, just type it all. Next, you'll need to enter the room you just opened and shoot 3 vermin. Don't kill them, just get them low, and run them past this device and let it suck up their souls. Give it a second, and then you'll need to do the same but with 3 regular zombies. As a side note, as you're doing this step, you may kill a zombie that has a keycard. You want to pick this up, head downstairs and interact with this cabinet to pick up the DNA vial. You cannot enter the boss fight without it, so make sure you pick it up. Once that's done, you can collect the cyst and head back to quantum computing, where you'll need to stand next to 3 tall mushrooms and wait for the timer on the left side of your screen to finish. One being here next to the jump pad, one in the room in front of Speed Cola, and one next to the elevator to spawn. After all this is done, you're about to go into a mini boss fight, so I suggest bringing a decent powered gun and some perks. As you can see, I have Deadshot, Double Tap, a tier 2 Pack-a-Punch, purple XM4. You need to interact with these 4 computer screens, and then an Uber Klaus will spawn. You'll need to shoot his shoulder pads off, but don't kill him, and lead him onto this electrified pad. Once he's on it, the Forsaken will possess the Uber Klaus and you'll have to kill him as you would a normal one, just with more health. Once he's dead, interact with this floating orb to place the cyst, and you'll have the Gorgofex. The next step is completely voluntary. You do not need to upgrade the Gorgofex to complete the Easter egg, but I like it since it's pretty helpful in the boss fight. If you don't want to upgrade it, skip to this timestamp. Note that you can only get 1 of these upgrades in a game. If you want to get the other one in the same game, you have to get it out of the box. First, we'll be upgrading the Gorgofex to the blue variant. If you want the green variant, skip to this timestamp. You'll need to head to the executive suite and interact with this door to admin to see Blanchard and let him talk to you for a bit. Then drop down into the spawn room and press this button in the teleporter room, which will send out a friendly Klaus. You'll need to defend him for a short time, and then the elevator to quantum computing will be inactive. So you need to use the elevator to mutant research, run all the way around, back to quantum computing, and drop down the elevator shaft with your parachute, interacting with these levers on the walls as you go down it. Once that's done, you'll be launched back up the elevator with a blue orb floating in front of you. Stand near it, and it'll split into 5 small orbs which will electrify zombies. Shoot these zombies with the Gorgofex, and then wait for them to collide in the middle of the room, and Panos will be there. Wait for some dialogue, then interact with him with the Gorgofex in your hand, which will upgrade it to the blue variant. For the green variant, you'll need to go to the executive suite and talk to Blanchard, then head to quantum computing and pick up the Strauss counter next to the computer with the brain earlier. You'll then need to use it to scan around for a high frequency. You can tell if you're at least in the right tower if the counter has any charge. The max count should be around 9.5, so once you've found that, you'll need to shoot that exact area with the charge shot of the Gorgofex, dropping this vial to pick up. Next, you'll need to pick up 3 parts to build a device. These being a PC fan in the Dark Entity containment in this pile of stuff, to the right of Speed Cola in this corner outside of quantum computing for the tubing, and then back in the room where the cyst was, this glass case to the left. Once all 3 are collected, you can head back to Blanchard and build this device on the table to the right. You will then need to interact with it again and start a mini defend lockdown where you'll need to stop zombies breaking it. Once you survive that, Blanchard will die in front of you. You're evil. And you'll need to pick up his life essence from the device. Finally, head back to the cyst room, interact with the container next to where it originally was, and craft your green Gorgofex. After crafting either of these upgrades, you can now pack-punch the Gorgofex, which is always nice. Now that's all out of the way, you'll need to head back to the executive suite and find 3 files. You need to remember the number of the file and the month on it, being these 2 numbers. Here are the locations that I've found for them in my games. On these tables in the lower area, run upstairs to the table in front of the projector, under this TV on the shelf, on the director's desk, and on the receptionist's desk. Once you found these numbers, you'll need to head back to the teleportation lab and find the last file, which will always be on this computer. You will then need to enter a code into this PC, being the numbered files in month order. So mine being 2 on December, 5 on October, 4 on September, and 1 on July, giving me the code 1452. After that's entered and confirmed, head back to the pack-punch room, and this button will be interactable. Hit that, and you'll need to kill 5 quantum vermin around the area with the Gorgofex. You'll know this is done if the counter above the button is at 1000 if you kill nothing else. Once the screen changes from in progress to cooling down, hold the Gorgofex and interact with this ball of electricity. Head back to the teleportation lab and shoot the broken teleporter with it, breaking the crystals. Next, you'll need to run back to quantum computing, shoot this window with a charged Gorgofex shot, and pick up the dropped head on the ground. Next, go to the Android assembly and need to punch this mop bucket into the middle of the room under the sprinklers. You do not need melee macchiato for this. I've seen a lot of people say that. You don't. To activate the sprinklers, you'll need to set them off by throwing a grenade or a Molotov into this window under the smoke detector. Then interact with the bucket to place the head, which will act as a soul box. You'll know that you've collected enough souls if the head's eyes are glowing purple. You can then pick it up and head back to the teleportation lab and interact with the portal, placing the head in it. Once this is done, these lock boxes will open around the map and you'll need to pick up these vacuum sealed devices. There are a lot of these around the map, but I'll show you the exact ones I take here. You'll then need to find these purple items floating around the map and throw these devices directly at them and pick them up after, and repeat this another 3 times. After you've collected all 4 devices with the items in, you can head back to the teleportation lab and interact with this middle console, placing the devices in and activating a small lockdown. You'll then need to interact with these levers on the wall that turn red and turn them back to green. The amount of these changes depending on how many players are in your game, so I was in solo, meaning I had only 3 levers to interact with, but on our 4-player run-through, we had 5 to interact with. After doing this, you'll be able to interact with the teleporter and enter the boss fight. Make sure you go in with decent equipment and perks. I had my tier 3 pack-punched gold XM4, and my upgraded Gorgofex to tier 1 pack, and all the perks you can see at the bottom. For this guide, I'll be siding with Richtofen, since the boss is much easier, and I'm afraid of the other boss. There are 2 small sections as the elevator rises. In this first one, you'll need to fill 3 soul boxes with around 10 zombies, being here, here, and here. Once these are filled, you can head back to the middle and keep going up. The next area requires you to shoot all of these dark ether crystals that are around the room. And once all of these have been shot, you'll be able to get a quote from Richtofen, meaning that you can go back to the middle and enter the real boss fight. For this, I'll go over Sam's attacks and how best to take her down. She has 2 main attacks for most of the boss fight, being her laser attack and spin attack. If she shoots her laser at you, you can run around a bit until she's used it all up, which will open these 4 weak points that you can shoot. After all of these are shot, which takes usually a couple tries, you can now shoot her eye, which will do a lot of damage, and then rinse and repeat for that attack. You can also use your Ether Shroud in this phase to shoot at her without having to worry about zombies hitting you. Her other attack is her spinning one, in which she'll go to the middle of the arena, and then you can start shooting her, but be careful, because she'll start throwing little electric orbs around the arena. In her first phase, you can combat this quite easily by just standing under her in the middle, but later on, she'll start pinballing around the arena, so make sure you know where she's going so you can dodge her. The last piece of advice I have is that you can shoot her while she's going in and out of her sky portals to get a little bit of extra damage. She also has an attack that flings you in the air, so be careful for that and drop back to the ground as quickly as you can. Apart from all that, the last part of the boss is doing the Sam trials in between some of the phases, which are largely easy. Even if you don't fully complete them, you'll only get a small gun debuff for around 30 seconds, after which you can keep fighting her as normal. After all this is done, you'll get to see the cutscenes play, which I'll also play here.
Welcome to the party.
And that's it. You've done the Easter egg, congrats! If you like this video and want to see more of these guides through the old maps in Black Ops 6 or even Black Ops 7 when it comes out, please leave a like and comment saying that you did enjoy it, maybe even subscribe, it helps me out a little bit. But yeah, thank you for watching and I hope this helped you.